Hey,
Pharmacist Ben,
you gotta do something
how's it
about that
going?
cut. You gotta do something about that quick
Yeah,
cut TV there. First of all, and
it
second of all,
was.
what
It
is
was.
this? What is? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna
Speak,
say.
please.
I was gonna say. What exactly, in your opinion, is the purpose of that music? Now,
Of the.
I'm not saying there's no purpose to it. I'm saying what, as you see it, what is the purpose? I'm not saying there's no purpose. I'm saying what is the
Well,
purpose?
we needed. We needed. Most shows have an introduction, so the music is just an
Is it just because
introductory.
that's the way it's done? Just because that's the way it's done, kind of thing?
I mean, I guess we could start cold without any sort of introduction, but that's like, we're trying to be high class.
All right. Well, I was inquiring, curious,
You
inquiring
don't like
minds
our
want to
music
know.
again? I thought it was growing on you.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not going to put it on my playlist. I'm not going to have it on my playlist anytime soon, but it's not bad. Hey, I'm not lying.
By the way, there's a reggae song called Diseases. And if it weren't
Okay.
for copyright,
You
that
would
would
do
be,
it.
yeah, that would be
You
the
can
one.
play a little bit. You can probably play 5 or 10 seconds of it.
I doubt we get away with.
Who is it? Is it not on YouTube?
Is it on YouTube? It's
It's on
probably on.
YouTube. It's public domain, I think. I don't know.
No, you can't. You can't.
No, all right.
You can't do
All right. Well, that sounds like a cool name.
it's a
Why don't
pretty.
we write our own song? Get your little AI, your little Mr. AI genius. Write, just punch in there. Write a Pharmacist Ben, AJ, Brightside, Bytes theme song.
Yeah.
It'll do it for you.
Yeah, it probably would. Hey, Kiki Soaps and Ivan, thanks for being here. All you folks
Hey,
on Rumble.
before we get started, there's two things I wanted to talk about real quick. Okay, so I get these medical journal emails, and one is called Dermatology Advisor, and Dermatology Advisor had a story, or two stories in what they call latest news. One is Opzelura, now indicated for younger patients with atopic dermatitis. And the other is, you ready for this one? Tralokinumab. Can you say that? Tralokinumab.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say that?
Tralokinumab.
That is darn good. That is, you could throw that out at a cocktail party. You could impress some folks. Tralokinumab. So the second article is Tralokinumab is pre-filled pen for atopic dermatitis is safe and well tolerated. So these are two. This is Dermatology Advisor for dermatologists to read, and the two articles in the news articles is one is about a drug that costs $2,000 a tube, $2,000 a 2-ounce tube, 60-gram tube, and another one that costs maybe, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 for a month or two supply. Okay, thousands and thousands of dollars. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars for a condition that right in the name tells you is a lifestyle condition. Atopic dermatitis. What does that mean? Atopic, not topical, not topical, atopic.
Atopic. Yep.
Atopic, right? Atopic, not topical, derma, skin, titis, inflammation. What does it tell you right in the name? It says a inflamed skin reaction, inflamed skin, that starts off on the inside of the body. It starts off on the inside of the body, right? So in the name, it tells you that you're dealing with something that's metabolic. It's chemistry inside the body. So why and how much would that cost you to change what's going on in your chemistry? Change your food, change your diet, change your digestive system, use enzymes, probiotics, these little things, lifestyle things for your digestive system, because that's what we're talking about internal, that's what we're talking about, it's the digestive system, dirty blood. But they want to put that as latest news, making people think that they're rescuing us from atopic dermatitis. There's a new cure for atopic dermatitis. They don't actually say cure, but they're positioning it as we have the answer to atopic dermatitis. Nowhere in Dermatology Advisor does it say probiotics. Does it say food allergies? And if it does, and I missed it, it wouldn't be complimentary, or it would be like, mildly complimentary, because it's very hard to deny the power of these strategies that we're talking about. And the reason I think this is important is because present company excluded, people who are watching this, but our friends, people we're talking to, our family, the culture in general, the culture writ large, that message of there's this easy lifestyle, cheap way versus this highfalutin insurance company paying for you drug way, they don't see it that way. The people in the culture don't see it that way. They see this, the medical stuff, as the solution. And it's not just with skin, it's with everything. They see medicine as a solution. Now, there's certain things that are so obvious that even our longevity people would never even do it. But there's other things our longevity people do, without thinking, how can we go? People who are bought in, people who are listening to this video or this news stream, we still will get high blood pressure medicine. We'll get a beta blocker instead of trying to nail down what's going on inside our body. Now, it's not as bad with longevity people, but I still talk to longevity people a lot. Or we'll talk to people who've been on this kind of protocol, these drug manipulations of the body for a long period, and now they're 60 or 70 or 80, and they want to get off of them, and they want to do things differently. Yeah, exactly. You want to catch this. Listen, high blood pressure I could see is a problem, okay? Obviously, you want to talk about kidney issues here in a second, and that's one of the reasons why we have such an epidemic of kidney disease. But high blood pressure is caused by what?
Dirty blood.
Dirty blood. Bingo. You understand how that all happens, right? Blood gets dirty, it doesn't move as well, it damages the inside, all that. We talk about it all the time. So if you have dirty blood and you have high blood pressure, yeah, you can take a beta blocker or a vasodilator or some kind of medication that'll open up your blood vessels, or it'll poison your heart so it's not pumping as hard, or all kinds of pharmacy strategies for it. But that's not going to make you healthier. That's not going to make you better. That's not going to increase your longevity. In fact, all three of those things are the opposite. It's going to make you less healthy. It's going to make you less better. It's going to shorten your longevity. But if you do the other stuff, it's essentially cheap, not anywhere near as expensive, even though insurance companies don't pay for it. You will add to your longevity. You will change your health. You will change the problem. And it's just like, it seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it, AJ? I don't know where you went there, but doesn't it seem
absolutely a no-brainer?
Like a no-brainer. It seems like a total no-brainer. What am I missing?
Well, you're missing
hypnosis. I'm not accounting for the hypnotic trance. We're sleepwalking. Everybody's sleepwalking to a certain extent, all of us. But some people are sleepwalking like in deep sleep, and they're sleepwalking like in gamma sleep, like gamma waves, the deepest of deepest sleep. I don't know if it's gamma, but whatever the deepest of deepest sleep waves are, that's where they're at. And everybody, to be clear, is in some degree of hypnosis, entrancement. Just when you drive your car, you can't think about, you probably should actually, but you can't think about all these different things. You're multitasking and things go, in the background. The operating system is in the background kind of for a lot of things. But to be sleepwalking through your health and how your body works, and to just do what somebody tells you to do, to take your organs out because somebody tells you to do that, that doesn't make sense to me, and it's not right. It's not right that people do that to us, but it's also not right that we do it to ourselves. That being said, let's answer some questions.
Yeah, Pharmacist Ben, I guess it's my contention that when an authority or a so-called authority
right
is telling you something,
yeah,
a lot of people just respect authority, and they're
not. I think it's more the opposite. They disrespect themselves. I don't think anybody voluntarily respects, or maybe there's some, but I think the vast majority they're not voluntarily doing it as much as they don't think they can do it.
You're absolutely right. People do not think they have the power or capacity.
That's the point, and that's disempowerment. And that, I see what we're doing as empowerment more than nutritional supplements or health. Or I see it as an empowerment thing. I always wanted to be a motivational speaker, and that's what this is. That was always not always, but
you can still be a motivational speaker.
You can do it.
Ben Robbins.
What's that?
I said Ben Robbins.
Ben Robbins. I love Tony Robbins, man. I totally love him.
Yeah.
I saw Tony Robbins in 1987 in this little room it was all car salesmen, and they all chipped in to pay for him. He's like 20, he was probably 28 or so. And 100 people in this little tiny place in Denver. And he was amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I said, that guy. I want to be like that guy. And I read Unlimited Power. You guys, if you want to read a good book, read Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. In 1987, I changed my life actually when I read that. I started doing my whole life differently after reading that book. So anyway, let's see who's out there.
Okay, so I was gonna say you would be proud of me today.
Yeah.
Barbara, who's on YouTube, asked a question today about Graves' disease.
Oh.
And what products can we take for Graves' disease? And you know what I said?
Yeah.
I said, you can't fix the fruit.
Oh, I love it.
The root.
That's awesome.
We were,
Did she like it? Did she get it? Did she understand?
She totally got it because she's one of us. So
awesome.
she understood what I was saying. But again, sometimes it's hard to recognize that it's that simple.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because we're led to believe that it's complicated. And I want to be known for, when I, pass on, I want to be known for simplifying things, not simplifying things, revealing their simplicity. I'm not simplifying things. You get it? I'm not simplifying it. It's simple. I'm revealing its simplicity. So I talk about dirty blood. That's, anybody can understand that, right? The blood circulates, it gets dirty, it doesn't circulate as well. That's just a simple little thing, but that's what it is. That's what it is. Then you say, why does the blood become dirty? Well, the blood is inside. There's only two ways, either through the skin or it's you know what I'm saying? It's like not complicated. It's not complicated. And so when you say, people think it's too hard, it's really not. And I'm not making it simple. It is simple.
So I'd like you to discuss that in the context of chronic kidney disease.
Yeah, that's exactly why we should do it. That's exactly why we should do it. Let me tell you about chronic kidney disease.
But yeah. Becca's just said she encountered 2 individuals today with blood sugar issues who are facing leg amputations.
Okay, so that's a whole bunch of different things, but they're all basically the same thing. Do you get all that? As diverse as it seems, they're the same thing, except the one is manifesting it in the lower extremities, the other's manifesting in the kidneys. It's the same thing. It's this thing called glycation. I know you know what that is. We talked about that. It's inflammation. It's coagulation. Maybe we should start talking about that. Glycation, inflammation, coagulation.
That will be our next title.
Why don't you write that down? Glycation, coagulation, and inflammation. Glycation, inflammation. Write that down before I lose that. Glycation, inflammation, and coagulation. There's a health diagnosis called disseminated vascular hypercoagulation. Disseminated vascular hypercoagulation.
Does disseminated in that context means spread out?
Spread out. Vascular means what?
Vein in the vein system.
Blood, circulatory, yeah. Coagulation,
yeah.
It's dirty blood. It's dirty blood, people. That's not right. Disseminated intravascular coagulation. Dirty blood. I think I have that paper. I was just reading it today.
That
cracked up. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's like transerythropoietin amyloidosis cardiomyopathy.
Okay. Pharmacist Ben, I know that I can't believe you remember that. Pharmacist Ben, as much as we understand this process so well,
the dirty blood.
We have someone on Rumble, KL Katz, who is not as familiar with what we're talking about at all.
Who is it? It's a new person on Rumble.
KL Katz, and her.
Are they new? Ask them if they're new.
KL Katz is pretty new because I have not seen that name, but I am going to drop a link for KL Katz if she wants to come on or he wants to come on. Here is a link that I'm putting in Rumble for KL Katz. You can join us live if you like, but ultimately her daughter, I'm going to assume it's a woman, her daughter has been told that her kidneys are failing This is right along with our topic.
Yeah.
How do we fix this?
How old is the daughter? Very young, or?
Well, we don't have that answer.
Okay, so I have to ask a few more questions, but I don't really have to ask because I'll explain. But I want to know because there's a different implication for somebody who has these kinds of conditions that's young, and by young I mean 30s or 40s. Usually not going to have this problem before your 30s or 40s, and somebody who's 60 or 70. You know,
I'm going to assume that Kale Katz's daughter is not 60 or 70 because an 80-year-old might have trouble getting on Rumble.
Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. It's hard to say, but I think that's why I asked you the question because my hunch would be she'd be 40s, somewhere in there. So 40s is a completely different implication than 60s. Okay, because 60s is still obviously it's a problem, but things deteriorate over time. 40, they're deteriorating at a very accelerated pace. Follow? So this, if it's true that she's in her 40s, two things are true. Number one, she better do something. Okay. Number two, she's probably so broken down that anything she does, she's going to notice a difference.
She's 42.
Yeah. So okay, it takes a lot of damage to get into this condition of 42, which is good news and bad news. Bad news because that's bad. You got to do something quickly. Good news is you'll notice results quickly. So this is the new person. So let's just go over this again because it's, I don't mind doing it. Repetition is reinforced. So the blood becomes sticky. You can call it, there's a lot of different terms for it. Technically, it's hypercoagulable. I call it dirty blood. It's blood that tends to clot. It's actually an inflamed blood is really what it is. That inflamed blood slows down and disturbs not only the composition of the blood becomes, the composition is thrown off. Is this our Katz, Mr. Katz?
Yes, hello, how are you?
Mr. Katz, good to see you.
Well, I listen to you often when you're on Coast to Coast with Ben.
Are you in Florida?
And no, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, you're in Las Vegas. Okay,
the palm trees. We saw the palm trees.
And I'm just getting off work, but I received the email that you was going live. I told my daughter when my daughter was first diagnosed that her kidneys were failing and they've started her on dialysis. I told her about critical health, and I even called and I was wondering like if your healthy life pack, because I know our body regenerates itself when you take care of yourself. And if you're living correctly, taking the right supplements, minerals, I would like to see her life in a long way and not stuck going to dialysis. So if you offer a solution, I'm all for it.
All right, well, listen, I want you to listen up, okay?
Okay.
The sicker you are, the faster you can begin the turnaround. You get that? And think about it this way.
Oh, yeah.
A dry sponge sucks up more water than a wet sponge. You follow me?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to look at it. She will notice a difference so fast your head will spin if she does a couple things. Just a couple things.
Okay.
Now.
All right.
A couple more things I want to tell you though. In the long run, at first. In the long run, it's going to be, you're not going to notice it as dramatically, but you will notice it dramatically in the short run. Initially, you'll notice it dramatically because she's in such a deficiency state. That's the first thing. The second thing is your daughter did not get into this pickle overnight. This ain't something that just happened. She didn't roll out of bed and all of a sudden, this is major degenerative. So that tells me, I don't know if her is talking, that tells me that she's been, and I don't mean to be rude or glib or anything, I'm just being frank here, she's been doing the wrong thing for a long time and not noticing she was doing the wrong thing. So, and she must have been doing it, and again, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but I want you to know where you're at.
Good.
Okay, good. So it may have been, to get this bad, you've got to go out of your way. You got to go out of your way to get this bad. It takes a lot to get this bad at 42. 42 is young, extremely young.
Yeah.
It's on the scale of which she's dealing with, it's pretty much as young as you get. There's probably a little before, but she's pretty much as young as you get. So that means it's imperative that you change or she changes ASAP. You may need the dialysis. I can't tell you what the situation is, But simultaneously with it, like you said, there is a lot of things, lifestyle things she can do to, as you pointed out, recover. The body can recover. So what's happened here is, let me explain what happened, and this is something we talk about a lot. The blood circulates through the body, and when it gets dirty, I call it dirty, and I'll tell you what I mean by that here in a minute. When it gets clotted, clogged, inflamed, it doesn't move around effectively. And not only does that cause problems with blood pressure, because then the brain will turn up the pressure, so now you got higher pressure. So you got higher pressure, you got dirty blood, and in the kidneys, the vessels are so tiny and so packed. They're a filter that's where the vessels are just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped, and they can only handle so much damage. Once they become damaged, the kidney doesn't work as well. It doesn't. Its job is to filter the blood. That whole filtering mechanism deteriorates. But the thing is, you got two kidneys. Number one, first of all, two kidneys, and you can be at like 90% or 80% function, 70%, let's say, function before you have a problem. So your daughter's got to be 90%. If she's on dialysis, she's got to be at like 10% or something, or 15%. She's got to be really, really, really low for that to happen.
Right.
So immediately you got to clean the blood. The main cause of dirty blood is digestion and sugar. Those are the main two causes. Is food, digestion, and sugar. So I guarantee you, I don't know your daughter, and I'm not a psychic, I'm just a pharmacist. Your daughter has got blood sugar problems. Guaranteed.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
You know what? You're correct, because
correct. The body works.
yes, that's true, because she diabetes or her blood pressure. I'm like, I don't want to blame one side for family. I'm just the eating habits and lifestyle. Eating habits and lifestyle.
Eating habit and lifestyle's got to be terrible, off the charts terrible.
Yeah.
There's
But
more.
now she has corrected that.
Well, there's more. There's more. This is what I'm
yes,
you.
okay.
There's more. So how do you get into this pickle with the sugar? Yes, partially, not partially, but a big part of it is food, exercise, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. But another aspect is digestion, bile, the liver, the gallbladder. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I'm going to tell you I'm psychic. You ready for this? She's had menstrual problems her whole life.
Okay.
How do I know? Am I a psychic? What am I, a wizard? No, these are syndromes. No,
okay.
How it all goes together, and how it all. You see, the body's a system, and if you understand how the leg bone's connected to the hip bone's connected to the backbone, except you look like you're about my age, okay? And what's your name again, Mr. Katz?
My first name is Keith.
Keith. You ever see a Rube Goldberg machine? You know what a Rube Goldberg machine is?
What?
It's called a Rube, R-U-B-E, Rube Goldberg machine. So
I haven't.
Let me tell you what a Rube Goldberg machine is, okay? So in the 1920s, there was a cartoonist who used to draw really interesting cartoons where a hammer would drop and it would hit a screen, and the screen would move, and the mouse would go in, and then the mouse would run on a seesaw, and the seesaw would go down, and the marble went up, and you know what I'm talking about? You've seen those things.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you've seen those things. They call them a Rube Goldberg machine. And Mousetrap, remember that game Mousetrap?
Yes. I was getting ready to mention that.
That's a Rube Goldberg machine. Okay. Well, the body is a Rube Goldberg machine. Do you follow me? The things, they happen like a Rube Goldberg machine. So if you know how the Rube Goldberg machine works, which I do, and anybody who does health should know how the Rube Goldberg machine works, you could say, if you see the mouse under the screen or under the cage, that there's something happened upstream in the hammer or in the marble.
Something that happened prior to it. Yeah.
You gotta see it. You gotta follow it. And here's the good, because it's not as complicated as a Rube Goldberg machine. It's a little complicated, but not like a Rube Goldberg machine. It's only got a few things. So one of the main parts of the Rube Goldberg machine is toxicity that gets into the bloodstream through the intestine. So you got blood in the intestine. The intestine's a tube, and then you got blood on the other side, and then your vitamins and your minerals, all the good stuff, go from the intestine into the blood. However, because of how we eat, because of how we live, because of our nutritional deficiencies, because of mental and emotional, there are a zillion different reasons, we don't digest right.
Correct.
It has to do with food supply. It has to do with antibiotics in the water. It has to do with our food choices, stress levels, dehydrations, and a whole bunch of reasons. But the bottom line is we don't digest properly at the level of the intestine. The entire culture, everybody, but to a degree. Okay, some people can do it to less degree. You don't notice as much. Other people have it more serious, right? So once that happens, it throws everything off at the level of the blood. The blood becomes dirty and toxic because what happens is when the intestine isn't operating correctly, it inflames. It gets swollen.
Okay, yeah.
And stuff gets into the blood. I call that dirty blood. That's step number one. Sugar gets into the blood. That's from diabetes. The gallbladder and bile, which controls in many ways her menstrual cycle, okay, her reproductive system, is in many ways. There's a lot of other systems too, but there's many ways. It's the gallbladder and bile. They also control blood sugar. They also control digestion. That's how I can tell you she has digestive problems, she has blood sugar problems, she has female health problems. Because if you go back in the Rube Goldberg machine, you see it's all linked to the intestine and the gallbladder and bile. That's everything right there, that's center. And the liver is involved as well later on. The liver is a lot more resilient. So that little area right there, what does that tell us? Food, 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 food.
Okay.
It's a food issue and a digestive issue. And there's millions of people like this. We have a little joke we tell on our little show here, AJ, right? There's 5,000 different diagnoses, but there's just one disease. We call it MBFA disease.
Okay.
My body is falling apart disease. Only disease.
Yeah.
It's the only disease there is. They got all kinds of names for the different parts, and you go to this specialist for that part and that specialist for that part, and it's silly and it doesn't work. Now your daughter's on dialysis. Okay, so she progressed, but she can turn this around. The good news about being young is you can turn it around quickly. So right away, do a food diary, eliminate problem foods, have her work on the digestive system. It's going to be a little tricky at first, but that's the first thing I would do. And the second thing I would do is our Healthy Start Pack. And
okay, say that again. What is that pack?
It's called the Healthy Start Pack.
How about the brain and heart pack?
The Healthy Start Pack.
Yeah, maybe the brain and heart pack. Maybe the brain and heart pack. Healthy brain and heart pack.
Okay, all right.
And then I want you. The goal here is there's a few different goals here. Goal number one is for her to see the power of this, so she'll become a believer, and you'll become a believer. And we didn't just.
I'm a believer prior to this. This is why I've been reaching out to you guys for over 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then she'll be a believer. I want her to see.
Yes.
I want her to see. Okay. And then the second thing that you want to do is once she kind of weans herself off of everything, the second thing is that you want to make sure you build her body, because she's very, at this point, her body is very, it's in a weakened state. It's in a very frail state. It's very, very, it's like a baby that's been through a war. That's what her body's like. So it has to be built. It has to be built up. You ever see those pictures of babies that have been through World War II? They're just traumatized. It's a horrible thing. That's how our bodies get, and her body is like that. So we want to start building it up once we get going. But the first thing is I want her to see what happens, and then she'll be a believer, because that's the most important thing. Is you have to believe. You have to really know that this is possible, and not everybody does. You do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to order. Well, I know she changed her eating habits. There's some things that she doesn't as far as everyday food and meals. So I will give her to begin a journal. If I could email address.
I'm not hearing him.
KL, can you hear me?
You're cutting out there.
Yes.
So KL, you're going to email us.
Yes, I could.
You're going to email us at questions@dailywithdoc.com. You look in the description. Our email address is
have the email address. Yes.
questions@dailywithdoc.com, and you can email us. And we
Hook them up with Becca. Hook them up with Becca. Becca has a whole protocol for dialysis.
Absolutely, and we're gonna get you set up and feeling better. You're feeling better about your daughter being better.
Yes.
Well, I feel great. I take care of my body.
It looks that way,
my
man.
body and my mind.
It looks that way.
And I'm 64 years old, so I work 2 jobs, and I rest and I eat well and I rest well. I'm trying to pass this on to my children as they're adults, and to get them away from the mindset that someone else has told them. Because I tell them it's possible. Your organs in your body renew themselves when you renew your lifestyle.
Good for you.
I'm a big believer in that.
Behold, I make all things new again.
Yeah.
You hear that? You ever hear that? Behold, I make all things new again. That's in the Bible.
Yeah, that's in the Bible. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
looking to hear from you. So look in the description.
Oh,
I'm gonna put the number, and I'm gonna put the email address again in the chat on Rumble for you. I'll put it everywhere so that you make sure you get back with us so that we can help you out. We'll walk you through.
I will. Now we'll be ordering the healthy brain and heart package.
You're gonna start with the brain and heart pack, and you're gonna help her. You know, it looks like the TMR shake is probably something Ben was talking about to help rebuild her body. Was that what you were thinking, Ben?
Later on down the road, I was thinking also like just anabolic foods, chicken soup, TMR shake. It's the fit shake if they like the fit shake better. I like the TMR shake actually. Anabolic stuff, eggs, fish, that kind of thing.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Good man. Be good.
Senior building, who also takes me some food pantries, has same deal. Oh, she's stubborn. Well, if she's stubborn and thinks she knows it all, then you can't do much.
So you hear that, Brenda Teresa? It's tough to do
when somebody is stubborn like that.
Stubborn, but what would you do if you encountered someone who was stubborn, Pharmacist Ben?
I let people be. You have to let people be. I don't have a rescuer syndrome. I don't have like a that whole rescuer thing. I don't do that. I help people who want to be helped. I always found it disrespectful to say to somebody, "You need me to help you." I'm not here for that. So when somebody doesn't want it, and I always say that on my calls, look, I'm not here to persuade you. I'm not being persuasive here. That's not my goal. My goal is like to just tell you how it all happens. Do you like my, the Rube Goldberg thing? Doesn't that make sense?
On Tom and Jerry, it was kind of like the first place I saw Rube Goldberg.
Yeah.
I
remember that.
They did all to push the toaster. It was like it goes through the whole house in order to pop the toaster.
Exactly. That's a Rube Goldberg issue. All to push the toaster, and the toast pops up.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember seeing that. That's great.
So, absolutely. So Bruce is asking, what does eat well mean?
Yeah, that's a darn good question. I like that. That's great. Let me tell you about that. Because when people say that to me, they have all these health challenges, but I eat well. I'm always like, how do you know you eat well? What makes you think you eat well? And what they mean is they eat well based on what they've been told, what their doctor told them, what the internet told them, what their mother told them, what their belief system is. And by definition, where there's smoke, there's fire. By definition, you can't say, I have a fire, there's smoke here, but there's no fire. Right? You can't say that. You can't say, oh, there's smoke here. If your house has had a bunch of smoke in it, you say, but I have fire protection, or I have asbestos, whatever. If you saw smoke, you wouldn't say that. You say, wait a minute, there's smoke. That means there's a fire.
Excuse me, Pharmacist Ben, but the menu right here says this is the best burger in America. What are you talking about?
Like, it says it right here. What are you talking about? Is that great? It says it right here. All right, yeah, that's a good one. But that you get it. What I'm saying, it's what matters is what is real. Where there's smoke, there's fire. If you got hypertension, if you believe this model, AJ, if you believe what I'm saying, this is a model I'm giving you. I have checked it for falsibility. I've checked it for holes to see where it's falsifiable. This triangle model. You follow me?
I've got a question now.
Yes, hang on a second. I'm going to take it.
All right, folks. Well, this is Pharmacist Ben's Bytes, and I am your guy, AJ. And the minute that Pharmacist Ben comes back, we will resume the show. I hope you're getting something from it. Pharmacist Ben, what you said begs a question from me, because I just want to be clear, and I want folks to be clear on what you said, or maybe it's just my craziness thinking this way. Yeah. Are you intimating that if I believe that the medical system is going to make me better, then they'll make me better?
I didn't say that, but
okay,
as you mention it, you have to have a lot of belief. But yeah, there's that. There's an element
you
there.
You think there's a potential that our mind can control our health outcome?
Do you ever hear the placebo effect?
Of course.
Do you know the placebo effect is used by drug companies when they test their drugs?
Yes.
It's official. This is not, Boulder, Colorado hippy dippy talk. This is official scientific protocol to filter out the placebo effect. Because if I give you a pill, a placebo effect, the way they get around a placebo effect is with a double-blind study. You heard that term, double-blind study, right?
Yes.
With double-blind, if I give you a pill, I don't know and you don't know. Neither of us know. Why? Because if I know which pill I'm giving you, guess what's going to happen? You're psychically. You want to say that again? Psychically.
Oh, I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
They know you asked, do you really think that? Of course it does. There's no separation there. Your body is your mind. And it's not your brain, by the way, it's your mind. The brain is just the organ, but it's the mind. And if you ask me what the mind was, I'll tell you I don't know, but it's some kind of process. It's the way information is processed. The brain is like the fat. The brain is like, dude, the brain is 3 pounds of goo, tissue. How the heck does it make colors and tastes and memories and feelings? How does that even happen, right? It's this process that's occurring, and it occurs head to toe throughout the body. The body is the mind. The body is the mind. There's more signals going from your body to your brain than your brain to your body. Your brain is constantly reading your body. Constantly. And the fastest ways to improve your health, by the way, among them, is to change your body, or change your the way you control your body, how you hold your body. You can't be depressed if you hold your body up. You have to go down to be depressed. You can't be depressed when you're holding your body up. That sends sick. Or smiling. Try and be depressed and you smile. Can't. You might be thinking about depression, but in that moment, you can't be depressed and smile. So all of these things, that's why I talk about breathing so much.
Okay, so a direct answer to the question, Mr. Busy, is go ahead. If you gotta go, if you gotta take it, you gotta take it. All right, so we know that Pharmacist Ben is the busiest man on the planet, so we will pardon him for interrupting our show with these phone calls. But the man is in demand, and that's why we love having him on with us. And but I'm gonna corner him and get him to say whether or not he believes that a pharmaceutical drug can do the fixing if we believe it can do the fixing. So we gotta see if we can nail him down on an answer to that. In the interim, I want to say hi to Nancy McAvoy, and to serve is to live. Our friend Kiki Soaps, and our fearless leader, Becca Dukes, with Keep Smiling, Everyone.
Oh, it's me. I'm back.
You got it. You just, I need an answer. You got to nail this down for us.
Yes, yes.
If my mind thinks that the pharmaceutical Ozempic is going to fix me, is it going to fix me?
I would have to say, based on everything I know about the mind, it's possible.
You're saying the mind is that powerful?
Yeah,
it can.
You have to really be. You have to be very, very. You have to have some serious mind power. Like you have to be a yogi who could sleep on nails, kind of thing, or walk on, fire, like burning ice or burning glass or broken.
Okay, so you have to levitate in order to be able to have.
You can have that kind of mind. I don't know. That's a little extreme, but that kind of mind power. Yeah, I'd have to think your mind can do anything. You can do without Ozempic, for that matter. I think that the power of the mind is that strong. You ever hear the old kind of tales, or I guess mythological stories of grandmothers lifting a car off of something?
Absolutely.
Right, and that is true. You get superhuman strength when certain chemicals are secreted, and the only reason we don't have the power to do incredible feats, because some people do incredible feats. People climb up Mount Everest with no oxygen, or jump in icy lakes and sit in there for hours. People do these incredible things. How do they do them and I don't do them, or you don't do them? Because we don't have that control of our biochemistry yet. They have control over their biochemistry to be able to do that. But it's not because it's not possible. You follow me? So feats, tremendous physical feats are possible, but you have to, it has to have a certain strength of mind power.
You have to be trained.
You have to train, basically. You have to train a lot. Yeah, exactly. So theoretically, ask a question. I'm answering your question here. Yes, theoretically, yes, you should be able to do it without Ozempic or with Ozempic, but you have to be trained. The body doesn't require that. The body requires vitamin C and zinc and breathing and clean water. The body doesn't require all those things you're talking about. The body just requires the basics. Yes, to answer your question, I do believe it's possible.
Okay.
That's not necessary if you really want to do it right.
Yeah, I did want to just make sure I nailed you down. I needed that answer.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I needed that answer from you. Pharmacist Ben, last Thursday I did a show when Becca was gone on 10 statements or core concepts that Dr. Wallach promoted that are now being accepted by the mainstream.
Doc was very, 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 he'll go down as being way ahead of his time for a lot of these things.
But they would not accept that a mineral deficiency or nutritional deficiency is the cause of the problem, just that it's an aggravating
factor. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's that's not good, but they're heading in the right direction. They're not quite there, but yes, they're heading in the right direction. Of course, it's an aggravating factor. But it reminds me of like an onion. You know how you peel up an onion, there's nothing in the center, right? It's kind of like if you try to drill down to how effective their strategies are and their protocols are, there's nothing there. They can't do anything. They're completely helpless. They can only mask the top layer of the onion. When you get right down to the center, there's nothing they can do. They're completely impotent at that level. So to me, it seems pretty foolish to say it's an aggravating factor, implying that there's other factors that don't involve nutrition, right? That there's other factors. What would those other factors be? Genetic.
They're sticking to the genetic theory.
Genetic, right? Genetic. My mother had, and they don't even mean genetic, because I hope you understand that everything is genetic. Right. Everything is genetic. Heredity, yes. Yeah. We lump those two terms together. It's not. Nobody doubts that it's genetic. Nothing happens without genetic. But we can control the point of contention is we say we can control those genetics to a large extent through epigenetics. And that was one of Dr. Wallach's big things. You know, the book Epigenetics, it's not really only about epigenetics. It's a great, I think it's my favorite one of his books.
Wow.
He has a lot of good books. That's my favorite. That's like a walk through medical history, starting with caveman days. And even before Neanderthals, I think, maybe. I haven't read it in a while. And then it goes up to the last chapter, which is epigenetics, which is like our most advanced, one of our, at the time he wrote the book anyway, one of our most advanced perspectives on the body, right? Genetics was the perspective before epigenetics. And that was about the 1950s to the 1980s, maybe. And that was the genetics where, you know, when they first discovered that there was the gene, when Crick and Watson and Crick first discovered gene, that was an amazing thing, because now you had a thing that you could actually work with, DNA, that you could actually work with. And as time moved forward, it became easier and easier to work with. Today, you can work with anything so easily. They have machines that you splices genes together and creates new forms of life. It's, you know, and then AI on top of that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening today. But when Dr. wrote the book, the next advance after genetics was epigenetics. What is epigenetics? We studied it in pharmacy school in the 80s.
Wow.
They knew about epigenetics a long time ago. That is how the gene gets turned on and off. Just because you have a gene doesn't mean it's going to actually express itself. The expression of a gene is not, they want you to think, or they used to think, and they still want you to think, that it's just like the gene turns on and something happens. No, that's not how it works. It's a very complicated process, and multiple genes have to turn on and off, and it's just a deeply intricate and tightly choreographed process of genes turning on and off, and all that is controlled at a higher level. That's controlled at a higher level. You're not going to control it here. They're trying to control it here. We're saying with epigenetics, you control it here. Much more elegant. With vitamins, with zinc, with good thoughts, with, I don't know, quality nutrients. There's all kinds of ways to keep the genes from turning on and off, to keep the good ones on and the not good ones off. And many of the not good ones are the ones that are involved with inflammation. So the dirty blood thing that we talk about, that's all genetics. You get that, AJ?
I do have that.
It's all genetics.
You know,
pharmacist genetics controls that. And that, yeah, go ahead.
So the way I kind of look at the nutritional deficiencies being a problem, it's kind of like you have a car, but the car can't move unless you feed it with the right stuff. You need gas, you need different fluids to be in the car for it to run or to do its job. Whereas your genes need, your body, your genes, your everything need the right nutrition in order to operate properly.
I'm not quite understand what you're saying, but the gene is not reading nutrition. It's reading abundance. It's not, I shouldn't say that. Your genes are reading, they're looking for either safety or fear. That's basically what your genes are looking for. They're looking for, can I activate the genetics that produces the enzymes that are responsible for the chemistry of rest and digest? Or should I be activating my genes that are associated with the biochemistry, the enzyme chemistry that produces the proteins that are associated with stress? That's basically what it is. And it's a little bit more complicated than that, because they're probably different. There's probably overlaps here and there, but generally speaking, we're making a decision: are we safe or are we not safe?
Brian,
what we've done over the last probably started 10,000 years ago, but at an accelerated pace over the last decades, is we're sending the body signals through our food, through our lifestyle, through our nutrients. We're sending the body signals that it's not safe.
I just the fluoroscopy.
So all the party here. Who are the people?
I got Brian. He's got a he's
you
got
understand what I'm saying about the genes? It's either safety or not safety. Are you safe or are you not? Albert Einstein, they asked Albert Einstein, what would he ask God if he could talk to God? And Albert Einstein said, I would ask God, is the universe a friendly place? And that's exactly what our genetics is asking every split second. Is the universe a friendly place? And what you want to do is you want to tell the body that it's safe. That's the key, is you want to tell the body that it can make more muscle, make more bone, that it can expend resources digesting and excreting and being creative and all the good stuff. We're sending our body signals that it's in dire distress, and that shuts down healing, and that thins the bone, and it accelerates aging, and it suppresses our immune system. And we're chronically, day by day, sending our body those signals. And that's what sickness is. It's called dis-ease. Dis-ease. Our bodies are out of ease.
Okay.
Somebody
Brian, give Katie your phone because there's feedback coming from her phone. Pharmacist Ben has got a roll, but give her your phone because yeah. So Katie's got she wants to lower her creatinine level and healing her chronic kidney disease. Her creatinine is 2.66.
You tell me. We talked about that. It's pretty obvious, right?
They want to hear it from you, Pharmacist.
They want to hear it from me. Okay.
They don't want to hear it from me.
Clean the blood of sugar and clean the blood of toxicity through the intestine. Now, that's one thing. That means food diary, eliminate problem foods. That means ketogenic diet, low calorie, low carb. Are you the person? Is this the person? Brian?
Yes.
Are you the gentleman who we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you're dealing with kidney. Is it you dealing with the kidney issue, or is it somebody you know?
No, I am.
Oh, you are. Okay. So you got a lot of stuff you got to do. Are you on dialysis? Is it true you're on dialysis?
No, I am not.
How old are you?
78.
And how much kidney function do you have?
Probably 50%.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so you're good. So here's a couple things. First of all, you're definitely diabetic, but I don't know if you're on medicine or what you're doing. You got to get that under control. The blood sugar under control. Has to be under control. That's first of all, okay? Because sugar gums up the works. That's first of all. More water. Fluidize the blood. You want your blood to be as fluid as possible. You follow me?
Okay.
So fluidize the blood. And I'll tell you some nutrients for fluidizing the blood in a second here. Oxygen is extremely important for the blood. Extremely. So get online or get on your iPhone or whatever and look up on YouTube slow, deep, rhythmic breathing for the kidneys. It's going to involve your diaphragm. You know what your diaphragm is?
Yes, sir.
It's going to involve the diaphragm. You're going to want that diaphragm moving up and down, pumping, pump, pump, pump. Your breathing should all. If you do it one time, Brian, I got to go soon, so I can't really do it for you right now. But if you did it one time, you won't believe how good you felt. One time, let alone if you do it 10 times a day, twice a day. One time, you will notice a difference. Significant, okay? That's another thing. That does a whole bunch of stuff, but it'll also fluidize the blood. Then there's nutrients that will fluidize the blood. And I would be using things like our ultimate. You're going to remember all this? AJ, you want to write this down and maybe contact Brian?
No, I'll remember it all.
You will? Ultimate enzyme.
Brian, are you using longevity products?
Say that again?
Are you using any longevity products?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, Brian, you're going to email the email that's coming across the screen. Look in the description on Rumble where you saw the show. And in that description, there will be an email address. You email or you call that number. Pharmacist Ben, I am paying attention. Continue.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So all of these are in the interest of fluidizing the blood, moving the blood around, keeping the blood going. That's really your problem. It's the blood. You have a blood issue. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the condition. You have a blood issue. Okay, so then you're going to oxygenate. You're going to do these supplements that we're going to tell you about. And you're going to, if you have any food intolerances, foods that make you bloat, gassy, constipated, diarrhea, whatever, those are foods that have to be eliminated. There's probably some severe inflammation in your intestine. And that's really the source of everything. is the inflammation in the intestine. The sugar compounds it, but the real source is the inflamed intestine. So you want to calm that down. So low calorie, but nutrient dense.
Okay.
You follow? Things like soups, vegetable juices, things that have a lot of nutritional value, algae, that have a lot of yeast, nutritional yeast, things that have a lot of nutritional value, but don't require a lot of processing.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It sounds like you know a thing or two there.
A little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like you do. So the main strategy here is to keep the blood moving, to clean it and to fluidize it. The supplements we're going to tell you about are going to help you clean the blood. Everything I just told you is to fluidize it, to keep it moving. It doesn't look like you can exercise. Are you sleeping, or you just have to lay down?
Right now I'm just sitting here talking to you, but no, I exercise.
Good. Exercise is your friend. Whatever you could do to keep that thing, keep the blood circulating. That's the key. All right?
Okay.
All right. So we'll get a hold of you, or you get a hold of us, and we'll get you some supplements for cleaning the blood and getting some electrolytes in the system and handling your sugar. Rebecca, I see, is on the line, so she'll help you, or AJ will help you.
Brian, what branch were you in?
Air Force.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. You make sure you look in the description and email us or give us a phone call, okay?
Okay, I will take care of that.
Did you have a follow-up question?
Well, the other question I had, I wanted to know about nephrostomy tubes. They're talking about that.
Well, that's because they're looking at you like you're a mechanical device.
Right.
They're not looking at you like you're metabolic and your chemistry. They're looking at you like you're a structure, which is not the way you are. When you start putting pieces in the body, and sometimes they're necessary, by the way, and I don't know your condition, so I can't tell you, but when they put pieces in the body, that limits what the body can do. Now, I'm not saying sometimes you don't need a stent, whatever, but it's something it's better for you to do it metabolically if you can, biochemically if you can. Now, I don't know how far along you are, so I can't really tell you I can't really answer that question.
I understand that.
Okay, but just know that they look at you as a structure. That's why you get prosthetics. And you're not a structure. And sometimes I wonder if it's because there's a lot of money to be made in the structure. So I don't know. I can't say. But I
believe you're correct on that. Yes.
Okay, well, I would say it's best to work metabolically and biochemically because that you have control over that.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, sir.
Brian, you have our email address?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you use it.
I will.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pharmacist Ben, I'm going to let you escape because I know everyone is blowing up your phone, wanting a piece of the man.
I'm in demand. I'm man in demand.
Yeah, I know we're going to miss you Friday.
Miss me Friday, but I'll be back Monday.
You'll be back on.
But then the next week, I won't be, but we'll talk about that.
All right. Well, Pharmacist Ben, we appreciate any time that we get with you. And, say goodbye to the folks. Thank you for another great episode. You did good work tonight, Pharmacist Ben.
Thank you as well, AJ.
You get 2 stars.
What's that?
You get 2 stars on your report card for that.
All right. When I go up to heaven, I'm going to need all the help I can get. They say you see your life pass before your eyes. There's some things I don't want to see. Trust me.
Yeah, well, hey, man, you've more than made up for it.
I hope so. That's my goal.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care.